G'day guys, welcome to my newest Let's Play of Rome Total War. Now as you can tell, this is actually modded, and if you've played it before you'll be able to recognize it, that it is Europa Barbarorum, or Barbarorum, I can't pronounce it, so just, you know. So we are going to be playing as the Romani, and this is not just the base EB, this is going to be with submods. So there's a few notable submods in there. Most notable is the 2 turns per year, which is a new mod that just got submod that just got released, and essentially it makes the game like twice as fast. So instead of the game stretching on for 1300 turns, it's now only 600 turns. So that will hopefully mean that the campaign doesn't stretch on as long as it normally does, and perhaps that will follow, as the mod creator says, a more natural time progression. So this does have the 2 turn per year mod. It also has a few other sub mods. I think it has a formation mod that came in a mod pack that I downloaded as well. So with all this stuff, it's probably going to be a little bit unstable. I've been getting a few CTDs and just general weird bugs and stuff like that, but hopefully nothing too severe happens, nothing ruins the campaign. Just got to remember to start the script. So as you can see, we are playing as the Romani, and it starts in 272 BC. I did play a test of this before, and I worked out that the best settings probably is about hard difficulty and medium difficulty for battle difficulty. The reason for this is that for battle difficulty, I think it's even recommended that it's medium, because the AI tends to get massive bonuses when you put it on hard or very hard. They get like +4 and +7 attack and defense depending on which difficulty you set it onto. So with medium they don't get any bonuses, but the mod already gives them bonuses. So this is sort of like playing on hard or maybe even very hard for the base game. So for the campaign difficulty, apparently hard is one of the better settings. Very hard, I couldn't get any peace treaties with anybody. No one would sue for peace even after I'd like completely wiped them out. So I'm going to drop it down to hard difficulty, which means that they will sue for peace, and also that the random rebel factions that sometimes randomly spawn in your lands will still attack your settlement. So knowing this, we will start things. We've got a time limit on the battles just in case anything goes wrong. It's still 60 minutes, I think, so it's not a problem. So yeah, this is a very, very good mod. Out of the major mods, if you've played any Rome Total War mods, which I imagine you must have, because pretty much everybody has, there's like Roma Surrectum 2, Rome Total Realism, and Europa Barbarorum. So my personal favorite is EB, because it just makes the map really nice and balanced, and the battles don't take for like half an hour for Roma Surrectum 2. That's the one thing I don't like about that mod, is that the battles take so long. The other thing with this is, I just remembered I did actually put the Roma Surrectum 2 graphics sub mod on. So the battles will have the graphics of Roma Surrectum 2, everything else will be EB plus some sub mods. So we'll just jump straight into this. As you can see, we start here in Rome in 272 BC. It is summer, and as you can see, we don't actually have all of Rome or all of Italy conquered. We are allied with Carthage, or the Carthagedustum, not even going to pronounce that, they're just going to be Carthage. And it also is sort of a historical setup. So Carthage controls Lilybaeum down here, which is half of Sicily. Syracuse is an independent town, but it's on a separate faction like Rome too. And Messina over here is there's like a little script. So if you attack Messina, you automatically go to war with Carthage, which is one of the little things that I really like about this mod. There's lots of little scripted events. So we're going to kick off the script here, because if you don't run that, there's no reforms later on down the game. So the first set of reforms will come in something like 242 BC. So still a way to go yet. Over here we've got a town captured by Epirus. So Epirus is this faction over here, of course. So if you know your history, I think this is a little bit out of date. I believe the Pyrrhic Wars was in 280, not this late. We would have probably had control of southern Italy by this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to build sort of an army, and we're going to retake Epirus here. So, or rather take Tarentum back from Epirus. So we do have this general here who is Lucius Cornelius Scipio. He's 27 years old. And we also have Caius Aurelius Cotta, but we're going to use him as our general. He's only 16. He has no command or anything, but hopefully we're going to be able to build him up into a fairly decent general. So we're going to move him to RP over there, and then move Lucius to Capua, who's going to be the governor there. Our faction leader is Manius Curious Dentatus that uses V's for the U's, which is just kind of confusing. But yeah, so Manius over here is our faction leader. He usually dies within the first few turns. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of what are these traits? Yeah, traits. And essentially they add a whole bunch of new things in this mod, which is great. Usually, if you're playing on the 4 turns per year, which is the default mode for EB, you've got the winter turn where you can't move like a certain distance and you get like winter effects like that. That's not going to happen in this mod because it's 2 turns per year, and the winter mod is just not working for the 2 turns per year. So we don't have any winter effects or anything like that, but it does speed up the game, which is a bonus. We're going to reinforce RP down here, and we're just going to send down Principes, our Equite Romani, and Slingers. So essentially what I want my armies to be is a body of Principe with a couple of these cavalry, Equite Romani, which is, I believe, it's light cav, but when you recruit them, it says they're heavy cav for some reason. So I don't know if that's a bug or whatever. And Slingers for the range support. So until we get some better units through the reforms, that's going to be our main army. We're not going to bother with setting up a Hastati line and a Principe line, a Triarii line. It's too much work, and it makes your front really small, so not even going to bother with that. I think we're going to end the turn here. We're just going to, because we do have 2,500, so we might recruit some Slingers in RP, and then Capua we're going to recruit a whole bunch of Principe, and the same in Roma. So that should do for this turn. What else we will do, actually, just before we end the turn here, we're going to send Caius Fabius Lucinus, who is our diplomat. We're going to send him around to Epirus down here in Greece, purely so that once we take Tarentum, whatever the city's called, Taris I think it is, once we take Taris, we're going to sue for peace with them. So hopefully, just so that we don't get dragged into a war over here in Greece, because we are going to be trying to play it semi-historical. So as soon as we take Taris, we're going to be aiming to take whatever city this is down here. I can't remember the name of it. Region, I think. We're going to take Region, and then hopefully by 264 BC, we're going to be attacking Messina, which is typically, that's when the First Punic War kicked off, because of course Rome or Syracuse sent troops to Messina and attacked Messina, and Carthage sided with Syracuse, and then Rome sided with Messina. So I think that's how it works. So is that how it worked? I don't know. I can't remember. It's something along those lines. Either way, if you move troops into Messina, you declare war on Carthage. So we're going to do that, kick off the First Punic War, and hopefully take some territory from Carthage over here. So we are going to be playing semi-historically accurate. So we'll end the first turn. So it'll be 272 in the winter months. So yeah, so this should be a fairly good campaign. Hopefully it doesn't last too long. The victory conditions are fairly severe. Like, you've got to take over pretty much all of the territory that Rome took over and what they held by 100 AD or 110 AD. I can't remember when they were at their maximum limits, but you've got to do it before 14 AD because the mod stops at 14 AD. It doesn't actually go past there. So hopefully we're going to be able to do that. In fact, we can look at the victory conditions. So this is the territory that we've got to hold. We've got a hold of all of Iberia, Gaul, Rome, Greece, North Africa, Egypt, and Asia Minor. So it is quite a bit of territory that we've got to hold, and then we have to capture anything out here. But yeah, it should be interesting. So hopefully we have a bit of fun with it. So we are going to continue moving these troops down. It's going to be a lot of end turns because the troops don't move that far, and there's not going to be that much to be doing. Over here we do have a rebel army. So this is like the kind of armies that I was telling you about. The rebel armies just seem to randomly spawn throughout your territory for no particular reason. On a hard difficulty, they attack your cities. On medium difficulty, they just sort of sit there and don't do anything. So that's why I put it on hard, so that we've got just a little bit more reason to actually keep our mainland defended. And unfortunately, with this mod, you can't just build barracks everywhere. Sometimes they cost insane amounts of money, and other times you can't even build the barracks. So I haven't really worked out how it works, but there are a whole bunch of new buildings like this regional pacification, which is if you take over a rebel territory, you've got to build these, and it's sort of like you're going through the process of annexation, and then you build government buildings, and you can choose the level of government buildings. You can choose like allied provinces. So, and the more Roman the territory you want it to be, the more money it costs you. So it's a very interesting mod. It adds a lot of great things, and I recommend that you try it out. Even if you just play the base game, you don't need to use the submods because it can be a little bit difficult to install, and there's lots of crashed desktops and stuff like that. So I think we're going to, this is a Epirus army with 2 units. We can send our spy down here to get us a bit of intel on what's going on. So this army has a hoplite unit and an arch unit, and Terrace over here, Surrectum Terrace, is not very heavily defended. I imagine that the Epirotes will reinforce there. So we do have our diplomat moving down. I think we will go ahead and attack this little army here. So we might as well just use everybody to do that, actually. Because unfortunately the auto-resolve doesn't seem to be all that friendly to me, so I don't know why. Maybe it's because the difficulty level. Like, they got 250 kills. I could have done that and gotten 30, they would have killed 30 of my guys. So the auto-resolve isn't that nice, probably because it's on hard. When it's on medium it seems to be okay, but not much we can do, because if we play it on medium then the campaign's going to be too easy. So he did gain a trait, didn't he? Runner? Something? I don't know, someone gained something. So next turn we will continue to build our army at RP here. We do have troops coming in from Capua and Roma as well. So we're just going to continue move our Principe down there. I'm not a big fan of like Hastati or the skirmisher troops like this, the Riorii. They're kind of spear units, but they're kind of skirmisher units. Like, it's a light skirmisher unit. I don't know what that means. It basically acts as a line unit, but they are more like skirmish orientated. I don't know. So we're going to end the turn here, and that'll make it 271 BC. So hopefully we can lay siege to Taris. I'm not planning on assaulting it. I want to keep as many troops as possible for the attack on Rhegium. I don't want this army to get worn down in too many siege battles. But yeah, so it's looking okay at the moment. Epirus will continue to put troops into Taris. I believe they've already recruited a few units. Yes, they have. They've already recruited 4 units. So we are going to be sieging them out. So we're just going to wait. It should take about 4 or 5 turns. Yeah, so we're just going to lay siege to that. And then we're just going to continuously add units to this army. Actually, hopefully they don't attack that army. I may have to retreat from that, actually. It doesn't really matter. We can just throw these 2 units in there as well. And RP's fine without any units in there, but we will still recruit some units, so we will turn that off auto-recruit. The buildings are very expensive. Even the submod does divide all the buildings and the recruit and the upkeep costs in half, because it's 2 turns per year, but everything in this mod is insanely expensive, so which is good because it means that you've got to more carefully balance everything. Like, I'm thinking, well, like, because there's so much options here. Like, especially like when you look at Roma Surrectum 2, which has even more options. This still has a whole bunch to choose from. So what we're going to be focusing on, these cities don't need any happiness buildings. As soon as you start taking territory, they all need to build like gladiator arenas and like stuff like that, just to make the populace happy. But these ones can be the main bulk of your army. I kind of wanted to build this because it gives you access to a whole bunch of troops. So that's in Capua. I think what we'll do is next turn we will build this and hope that we may be able to get some access to better troops. So we'll end the turn again, and we do have our diplomat moving closer to Epirus, of course. And the turn times haven't been too bad at the moment. They do get a little bit worse later on in the campaign, but nothing too terrible, especially as factions start getting knocked out. Yeah, see, okay, so the rebel faction is assaulting Arretium. We can probably send... I think I was recruiting a unit in Roma, maybe? No. Okay, so what have they got? They've got 3 skirmish units, or 1 line unit, 2 skirmish units. So we've got in Retium enough troops to take them out. So we're going to do that. We will attack them. And see, it's crap like this that's just annoying, because it means I kind of have to play this one out, I have a feeling. Yeah, right. So this will be the first battle of the campaign. I know it's a really small battle, but I don't want to risk the auto-resolve. And the problem is I would normally save before the battle, and then if the auto-resolve just fucked me over, I would just go straight ahead and load up the save and then just fight it out. But because the script, you can't actually activate the script if you load the game and you're starting a battle. So we'll just pour out main infantry body at the front gate. Pretty much everybody at the front gate, actually, and we'll just pull everybody out. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that, which is, I mean, it's kind of like cheating in a way. But it just sort of means that if the auto-resolve decides to screw us over, we can just reload things, but it doesn't matter. So, we've got mostly, I mean, I don't even know what I'm looking at. We've got, these are Triarii and Hastati are both infantry. And one of these is skirmisher. Okay, the Leve. Leve is a skirmisher, I think. Yes, okay. Leve is a skirmisher. So we're going to put him over there. And this is going to be our main body. I don't know where they're going. And we'll send out a general as well. So we'll just speed this up. What's good is the battles don't last for 3 hours like Roma Surrectum 2. That was the one thing that probably pissed me off about Roma Surrectum 2 the most, is there's like absolutely no reason for the battles to last that long. It doesn't make it that much more engaging or anything, and I think Europa Barbarorum honestly has the best battle time length. Like vanilla is just way too fast, but this definitely does have a really nice balance in it, I think. Okay, so they're not going to be in range because they are just javelin men. So we're going to send up our leves to get some skirmish going. We can use our general as a hammer, and we'll use our line as the anvil, of course. We're just going to pretty much be using that tactic through most of the campaign. What's good about Rome is that it has a lot of infantry that you can just sort of walk forward, and it just acts as like this massive shield wall, which is really good because I'm not a particularly I like this style of hammer and anvil. They're now in range, so we're just gonna get these guys set up and start charging our troops. And of course straight away they're going to start pulling back. They've all got skirmish mode on, so yeah, we'll just get this battle started here. And we'll just let our leves get some decent fire on these guys. And our general can clean up the velites. Now the problem with this mod, I can't remember if this is a problem in the base game, to be honest. I don't think it is, but with this mod, the cavalry doesn't do anything against skirmish units. Like, if you get your cavalry locked into a skirmish with... Sorry, not a skirmish, a melee with like a skirmish unit, they can sometimes win. It's really annoying. Compare that to like Rome 2, where if you get a cavalry unit to hit a skirmish unit, it just flattens them in no time. So we're not doing too badly, but we're losing troops against them, which we shouldn't be. So, I mean, the option is we could recharge these guys, but I think our infantry body here is going to do a decent enough job. Don't know what our skirmishers are doing. So we'll just get them firing on those velites. No, we don't have access to velites for some reason. I don't know when you can get access to them, because I think it's when you build that upgraded barracks, which I haven't built before. I've usually just rolled with the Principes until we started getting reformed. So, see, like, my general unit has lost, I don't know, 25 men already? I'm not sure what it started on. Maybe it was 90. And yet it hasn't killed the Velite unit. So, I have to pull out and just get some charges on them, I suppose. Yeah, it's just really irritating the how weak cavalry are against skirmish units. Also, the sound might be a little bit unbalanced at the moment because I haven't made an episode yet, so I can't listen to it back. But I'll definitely check out whether or not the commentary is too loud or too quiet or whatever it might be. I can do some adjustments later on. If it is, just let me know. But yeah, hopefully this should be okay. I might need to turn down the game sound a little bit. Over here, my general is doing okay. They are wavering, so that's good, but my general is also down like 40 units. So we're just going to get some rear charges on these guys, hopefully break their Riorii. So yeah, this is like a fast battle compared to the other mods like Roma Surrectum. Yeah, okay, so we managed to break them, which is good. They are fighting to the death because they are enclosed. So I'm not even sure if this is a base game. Like, I think it's increased the chance of this happening. It's increased in the mod. Is if you encircle a single unit, or maybe it's because I haven't played Rome base game in so long. If you encircle a unit, they actually fight to the death, but if you leave a gap for them to leave, they will run out that gap. So that's like a famous... some famous general guy said it. I think it was in the Art of War. Yeah, he said always leave your opponents a way of getting out so that they don't fight to the death. So that's very cool that that's in there. I think it might just be it might just be in the base Rome game. It doesn't really happen anymore in the newer games. So victory will end the battle. We did get 487 kills, they got 133. So we've got exactly 800 men remaining, which is good. And hopefully don't go around seizing any more of our territory. So what we will be doing is building a whole bunch of cheap units like Hastati and Slingers in all of my base cities. And I know it'll cost a little bit in the upkeep, but it'll also mean that it'll deter any of the rebel armies from spawning and attacking our cities. I mean, they still attacked Iridium. That didn't stop them from attacking Iridium, but that might be because they had, I don't know, 3 units maybe? I don't know. So we'll build some Hastati there. Araminum, can't build any, so we're just going to build for them in Iridium over here and then send the troops over. We do have some ships, not going to worry about them at the moment. As soon as we get into a war with Carthage, we're going to start building this fleet up. In fact, I might send it down to Capua, because that's where I can recruit ships from. We'll start building up that fleet, build an army in Arretium, move it over to Eulalia and take Eulalia. So that'll be my naval army that'll take Corrales and Eulalia for me. And we'll have a land army that'll be pushing through Sicily, and then hopefully we can sue for peace, but you don't know. So yeah, we're not going to even touch the barbarian hordes up here. We are actually at war with the whatever factions these are, Ardui. I don't know, I can't pronounce half these things, so if I get the pronunciation wrong, including the name of the mod, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, so yeah. We're going to move these troops and form up this army. Again, we're just going to siege this out. So this siege of Taris will last 5 turns. I don't think there's any sort of threat from Epirus for landing another army here to take us on, so not going to worry about that. We will continue to reinforce that army. We do have more Principe from Capua already. Yeah, so main army is going to be Principe until we start getting better troops. No point rolling with the Hastati. Principe aren't that much more expensive. I think they're like another extra 5 gold per turn, and you get like an extra couple of melee attack or something like that. So definitely worth it. They're a little bit more expensive to recruit, but still worth it. So yeah, apart from that, I don't think we can do anything. We are still looking to build this, wasn't it? Yes, okay. Wait, can't we get half of these things? Hastati, Triarii, Principe. Okay, so this might let me build cavalry, because we can already build half the things on that list. So that's yeah, okay, that's worth it still. So we'll build that just for the cavalry, because we do need some cavalry force in our armies, considering that we are going to be mainly using hammer and anvil. So I think we'll end the turn there. Yep. Okay, so yeah, like I said before, the Pyrrhic War against Pyrrhus, whatever his name was, lasted like from 280 to 275 maybe. Don't quote me on that one. It might be a couple of years either side, but I don't think it was still going in 271. And then in 264, the Syracusans sent troops to Messina. Rome sided with Messina. See, I really kind of fuzzy on my first Punic War history, so yeah, I think that's how it works. But either way, we're going to be taking Messina, so we're not going to be playing that out historically. So yeah, anyway, we'll move these guys into this army. So this should be almost a full stack here, which it is indeed. This cavalry unit's not exactly at full strength. That's probably because of the auto-resolve that I did. It always seems to hit the cavalry hardest. It's kind of like when you do auto-resolve in Rome 2, it always hits the elephant hardest. Like, you have like a full elephant army stack, and it will just like destroy every single elephant in the entire army. So, kind of annoying, but whatever. We're going to continue to build our Hastati and Slinger units up here in the northern half of our country. And we can actually build ships over in Ariminum over here, but we're not going to bother because it means we have to sail them around. And we can't. The one most annoying thing I think in the old game is the fact that you can't merge fleets. Like, it's just the stupidest feature. I don't even think it's a feature. Essentially, what it means is the admirals won't give up command. So if you have two ships, like I build a ship here in Rome and then I build a ship in Capua. I can't merge them because the admirals don't want to give up power, which is ridiculous. I mean, they will do what I tell them to do. So, but unfortunately, I don't think there's any mods that'll get rid of that. I'm gonna have a look around for one though, because that is a seriously annoying thing. Since I have to move my entire fleet to whatever city produces the ships, and then if I got my fleet over here blockading somewhere, I have to move the whole fleet back just so I can merge them. It's kind of a pain, but whatever. Apart from my little rant, we're not really getting enough money to go on like a building crusade. We do have some construction going on. We do have that settlement, so I think we'll finish the turn there again. Siege of Taurus should last another few turns, and they'll sally out probably, and we'll have to force our way into the city center. That's kind of annoying as well, actually. When they sally forth, they will run back as soon as they rout. They run back to the city center and then they run back out again. So there's like a constant stream of you not being able to rout everybody at once, because as soon as you rout someone, there's already someone back at the town square unrouting and then coming back towards you. So one thing I do hate is trying to take a city like that. But again, the auto-resolve just screws you over if you don't do that. At least they're taking some attrition though, so auto-resolve may be an option, especially considering how big this army is. So we're going to recruit Hastati over here and Slingers. Same thing over here. Why can't I recruit any more in Uppy? Not enough people in this settlement. Ooh, yeah, okay, so older games. Completely forgot about the population in the older games. So the older games uses a manpower system like you'd find in Paradox games, where it'll draw troops from the base population of the city instead of just appearing out of nowhere. So that's kind of cool. Completely forgot about that, actually. So yeah. Again, there's not much more we can do for now. So we are allied with Carthage. We do have our diplomat down here in Epirus, which is going to get a peace agreement. 3 turns, so we'll end the turn again. And that'll make it 269 BC. Yeah, so as you can see, that is 2 turns per year instead of 4. 4 is just ridiculous. I played 4, and like by the time I got to 220 BC, I'd already played something like 50 years, which 50 years is 200 turns, and I'd taken over so much territory. And yet in 200 BC, Rome had barely taken. That was at the end of the Second Punic War, so they'd taken over Spain, part of Spain, and vassalized Carthage, maybe. Like I said, my Punic War history isn't that good, but yeah, I could like conquer the entire map in the 200 turns. Well, not exactly, but I'd have a fair chunk of it compared to the historical rate. So if you halve that at least, it would take me to get the same amount of turns, and it'd be something like 150 BC, and it'd be just a little bit more accurate. Essentially, it's still not going to be accurate, and the movement is still definitely not accurate. Let's move our spy down here. Check out these two cities. So this is Region, and this is Messana. And Syracuse, of course. So Syracuse isn't a separate faction like it is in Rome 2. They can't attack either. The rebels in the cities aren't. They can't actually leave the settlements to attack your own cities. But if they spawn a stack somewhere in your territory, they will actually attack you. But what this mod does is it renames all the rebel factions to specific region minor factions. So because there's a faction limit on Rome. What the modders decided to do was name the rebel factions, like, I'll give you an example. This is Eleutheroi, but it's Syracuse, Syracuse, which is the people, Syracusoi, and the Messana is the Mamertine people. So they're rebels, but they are rebel people, and they're different. So they're not like interconnected. I think they are still interconnected because there's no way to change that without changing the actual hard code of the game, but it's something along those lines. So Terrace has one more turn to till they give up, or not give up, they'll actually sally out and attack us most likely. We can't recruit any units there, of course. What we can do is reduce the we'll put it onto growth builds so that we can increase the population growth. We don't really need the money at this point. Rome is losing a lot of money because we do have a fairly sizable army, but all of the rest of our territories are gaining money. We're not losing any more money in any other territory, so that's good. We can continue to recruit then, and we will build some more Hastati over here. They will probably build into that army that's going to attack Eulalia and Corrales for us. Same thing over here. We do have a fairly sizable army. Ariminum has nothing, so they may actually get attacked by any rebels that spawn. So we're going to move some troops over there, and that's just going to be the garrison for Ariminum. And then Roma is just going to continue to build slingers and Hastati. Okay, so that looks fairly good. Yeah, so what will happen next turn is they're going to sally forth, attack that army. So because we're getting to the end of the episode, I think we'll end it here. Next turn we'll open with that attack from Taris. We did have a battle this episode, so that's okay. But glad you guys watched it all the way to the beginning of this episode. This is going to be a fairly good series, I think. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to try and rebuild the mighty Roman Empire by 0 AD. It's going to be a lot of fun, so stick around. Subscribe if you want to see any more, and of course hit that like button if you want to support me, and leave a comment as well. Just tell me what you think, tell me any ideas that you've got, what we should be doing, and probably tell me what I'm doing wrong. So until next time guys, I'll see you later.